Welcome back to Court TV Live. Michael Ayala here with Judge Ashley Wilcott. Sentencing is underway in the bloody suspect murder case going on in Iowa.
Last month, the judge found Nathaniel Bevers-McGivney guilty of murder for killing 17-year-old Michele Luna Jackson. She disappeared from a park where she often would be swinging on a swing, and this happened in September of last year.
Bevers-McGivney now faces life in prison without the possibility of parole. Let's go back in now for the judge's sentence.
Mr. Bevers-McGivney, what a horrible case. And I see you nodding and agreeing with me. You attacked this young girl, stabbed her multiple times until the blade was stuck in her body. And you threw her body into a garbage can and tried to conceal it. Terrible facts, terrible acts. And there's nothing about this case that warrants any sign of leniency from this court. I don't understand it. It was just acts of pure evil. And the crimes involved, they were two distinct crimes that you intentionally committed. And as such, separate punishment is appropriate in the form of consecutive sentences. Furthermore, such violent acts require the court to impose the maximum sentence for the protection of this community. The defendant is hereby adjudicated guilty of count 1, murder in the first degree, a Class A felony in violation of Iowa Code sections 70.7.1 and 707.2, sub 1, sub A. And count 2, abuse of a corpse, Class C felony, in violation of Iowa Code section 708.14, sub 1, sub B. With regard to count 1, and pursuant to Iowa Code section 910.3, defendant shall pay, and judgment is imposed against defendant as follows: $150,000 to the estate of Michele Jackson or the heirs at law of Michele Jackson, pursuant to Iowa Code section 910.3b. With regard to count 2, and pursuant to Iowa Code section 910.3, defendant shall pay, and judgment is imposed against defendant as follows: 1, a fine in the sum of $1,370, and 2, a 15% surcharge of $205.50. The fine and 15% surcharge is suspended, and that is not to show any leniency, but to make sure that every dime, dollar earned is set forth towards the victim restitution for the heirs of Michele Jackson. Regarding court costs and court-appointed attorney fees, the defendant shall pay Category B restitution. Regarding incarceration, on count 1, murder in the first degree, defendant is hereby committed to the custody of the Director of Adult Corrections for the rest of the defendant's life without the possibility of parole, pursuant to Iowa Code sections 901.7 and 902.1. Minimus shall issue immediately, and defendant is remanded to the custody of the sheriff for implementation of this sentence. The Iowa Medical Classification Center in Oakdale, Iowa is designated as the reception center to which defendant shall be transported. Regarding count 2, abuse of a corpse, defendant is hereby committed to the custody of the Director of Adult Corrections for an indeterminate term of incarceration not to exceed 10 years, and minimus shall issue immediately. Pursuant to Iowa Code sections 901.59C and 901.8, these sentences of incarceration shall run consecutive to one another for the reasons stated by the court. The defendant shall provide a DNA sample pursuant to Iowa Code section 901.5, sub 8A in chapter 81. Regarding count 2, abuse of a corpse, the court hereby publicly announces Defendant's term of incarceration on count 2 may be reduced from the maximum sentence because of statutory earned time, work credits, program credits. The defendant does have a right to appeal the sentence. Defendant has a statutory right to appeal a guilty verdict following a trial by filing written notice of appeal with clerk of court within 30 days of the date of this proceeding. Defendant has a right to appeal the sentence by filing a written notice of appeal within 30 days. Defendant is unable to pay the cost of appeal or an application for permission to appeal. Defendant may apply to the court for appointment of counsel and the furnishing of a transcript of the proceedings at public expense. Defendant qualifies for court-appointed counsel and or preparation of the transcript of public expense. The defendant can be assessed the cost of the court-appointed appellate attorney and transcript preparation costs when a claim for such fees is presented to the clerk of court following the appeal. If unsuccessful, the defendant may be assessed court costs. On count 1, bond is unavailable on appeal, so there will be no appeal bond. Regarding count 2, bond on appeal is set at $10,000, cash only. Any cash bail or bail bonds are hereby exonerated. For the state, is there anything the court has overlooked or omitted?
No, Your Honor.
Mr. Kendall?
No, Your Honor.
That'll be the order of the court. The defendant is remanded to the custody.
All right, so there you have it. The judge felt compelled to sentence him to the maximum on both charges, life in prison without parole on the murder charge, and up to 10 years, meaning 10 years unless something, crazy happens and you get some good time. He'll be serving the max on that abuse of corpse charge as well.
And they're consecutive because he said they are 2 distinct crimes intentionally committed, so you get a sentence for each of the crimes.
Yeah, no doubt about it. And there you see him being taken away for the last time. He's going behind bars. We will not be seeing this gentleman again.